All right, so here we are with our BMW 540i. We have finally gotten the whole engine broken down. The heads are at the head shop, and we should be picking those up probably in the next couple days here pretty soon. The valves just came in, so we got that out and everything. As of right now, there is nothing on or in this vehicle that can't be repaired. Everything looks good. Right here is a secondary chain for your oil pump down there. Everything on the crank and whatnot looks good. As far as the head gasket failing, what we have here is we just have a bad head gasket altogether. There's no more gasket material. The raised edges are pretty much completely wore out. It looks like this vehicle has been getting hot. Now, let me try to see if you saw that. You can see it cracking. You can hear it. Maybe. I don't know if you can hear it. Doesn't take much. So that's a gasket that's gotten hot, and so sometimes some of these gaskets have, what's called polyethylene. It's what gives plastic and other things kind of its rubber material. And basically, what happens is the poly is what my mentor and I call it for short. The poly basically cooks out of gaskets when vehicles start getting hot, and that's why you start blowing head gaskets and doing stuff like that. So as far as the top of the engine block goes, we're going to get all this cleaned off. We'll just use razor blades, very carefully scrape everything off, and get everything fixed up, and go from there. You can see where there's some carbon buildup right here. Now, I had to scrape, and even right there, you can see I still need to scrape, but I had to scrape some of this away because I had to find back here on this cylinder head is where we had two bent valves. And I didn't see any earmarks on any of them until I started cleaning stuff off, and I was able to find the two earmarks on the piston head here, where at some point, ever so slightly, there was a valve to piston contact. Now, what the machine shop told me was that they found carbon buildup inside of the valves. And what that does is it causes valves. Let's say this is a valve, okay, and my arm is the valve stem, and that's the top of the valve. Well, if you cover up my arm with a bunch of carbon, what's going to happen is instead of going up and down freely, it'll get stuck. And then maybe the piston head will hit it and bend it. And it actually, what it's called is called micro bend. And it'll micro bend it, and then you have a bent valve. So those were the two valves that we found that were bent. And when I came back, per what I was told, and started cleaning off pistons, I found the earmarks. And so at some point that happened, and then obviously carbon built up back over it. And so there's no worries about the piston head or anything like that. We're not concerned. It's just a scratch on it, basically. So no worries there. We do need to change out timing chain tensioners, or timing chain guide rails and tensioners. This one is actually broken. And let's see. And again, this is due to getting hot and just the plastic just getting bad, just the plastic getting hot and brittle. And so you can see there where that's broken. Right in there. A little piece of plastic there has been broken off. Let's see, on the end here, you can see where the plastic has started to chip and break off. And let's see, we can even compare the two sides here. You can compare that side with this side, and you can see Poor things have just broken off. So these guides are brittle, and you can tell they've been exposed to heat, and it would be very wise to go ahead and get a timing kit for this vehicle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw in a main seal. I know people are like, oh, that's great. Actually, I get this seal for like $2. So I've already ordered one, and I'll replace that when I clean up the timing cover and do all that. I'm going to start putting this vehicle back together sometime next week if we can get timing chain tensioners and kits ordered. And then, like I said, I'll take care of the front main seal because that's a pretty cheap deal for me. No worries on that. And basically, I also wanted to show you here. Here's your here's your water pumps. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what putting the wrong coolant in does to this type of vehicle. Okay, these water pumps are almost the same here, except for if you notice, this one is a different color, and it has, just to keep it simple, look at all these raises right here. This one almost looks plastic, right? It's not. That's metal. That is aluminum, and that is metal, and that is what it is supposed to look like. This one has been completely degraded. Check this out. Okay, ready? Watch this. Look at that. Beautiful impeller. You see that? This is what happens to aluminum parts when we use the wrong stuff. Look at inside of this one. Something else, isn't it? So they even took the finish off, and this water pump was real close to going out. So again, that's what heat and putting the wrong coolant will do to your vehicle. Now this water pump is obviously OE BMW, so we will be replacing that once we put everything back together. So I would suggest on this job, parts are hard to get for this job. I had to wait almost 4 or 5 days now, I think, for two valves to come in and stuff. And so I think it would be wise if my customer wants to take some time and look up timing chain kits for this vehicle and see what he can find. I would stay away from Victor Rein's parts or gaskets. Their bolts are great. We actually got some Victor Rein's bolts, but I've heard for the BMW to stay away from Victor Rein's parts. So, and then I'll do some research also. So, other than that, car stays safe inside of my garage at all times. This is the only vehicle that I have that I keep inside of my garage. It's still in good condition. It has collected dust, and so I will definitely make sure that I wash and wax it. And as you can see, my parts are all laid out. Right side of the engine, left side of the engine, everything is labeled and ordered accordingly. If you notice, all my numbers, everything will go back to where it's supposed to go. Let me see if I can get just to focus back for you there. You gotta love these cameras. Technology, it's great. Never works right here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, everything is laid out accordingly to go back in its original position. And again, I think I've showed this to you. I have different stages of bolts in each one of these. I know where every single one of these bolts go and where every single one of these parts go in order to make sure that this vehicle goes back together. So yeah, I'm getting excited about getting ready to put it back together. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a good day, and thank you for supporting me, Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician.